Hello, Pisces. Welcome, welcome, and happy birthday to those of you who are celebrating or just celebrated a birthday. I'm going to go ahead and get a general reading started for you for March 2020. We're going to do a signature spread. It's not something that anybody else does. But before we get to that, I did leave these out upside down. This would be the bottom of the deck as I shuffled the cards. So we're going to go through those to kind of set the intention for the reading, or the universe is kind of choosing the intention for you. And it does run a very similar theme, um, card for card. So let's start here. This is going to be to raise awareness, to pay attention to subtleties, looking with new eyes, and noticing that there are signs and omens everywhere. So this is going to be a very deep reading, I'm feeling. So yes, we have the center here, which is you, the Golden Palace. And then we have this whole idea of kind of a conflict and preparedness. Okay, so this would be the preparedness card. So we have the acorns here, and the person character is actually putting the blood of his hands in with these acorns in order to grow. And it looks as though it's working quite well, right? We've got flowers bursting everywhere. So we do have this sense of freedom or breaking free and preparedness, right? Let me get that right. The preparedness for breaking free of something that feels a little bit conflicted, a little bit caged down. Though this is kind of that medical symbol, which you could be focusing on your health right now and really amplifying your fitness goals and that type of thing. But also, it's, to me, this is kind of entanglement, right? So this card here, we have the bird that's actually made of leaves, and this woman figure here who's kind of holding the bird steady. And it's probably to take very good care of the bird, right? But there's still kind of this holding onto type energy here, and I get that because of this card here, which is about conflict. And it does say there is the will to power, hostility, jealousy, stubbornness, aggression, fear, competitiveness, and controversy. So, yes, I am definitely feeling like there is some tangled up energy that you are bursting away from. You are flying out of the cage. It's easier to do with single cards than it is the whole deck, but I do want to keep them together. So, we have the bird busting out of the cage. Okay, so let's move along to your spread. Like I said, I do my own signature spread that I created myself. So it will possibly look a little bit like a Celtic cross, but that is not the intention. So let's see here what the dreams of Gaia Tarot have to say here for your situation, and we'll get started. The King of Fire right in the center here. So this could be an aspect of you. You could have like a moon sign or rising sign of fire, but this really just means being fired up and just going towards your dreams and moving very quick recognition for chasing your goals. So we have at the bottom of the deck where we began, which sometimes I wonder if I just shuffle, a certain amount of times and it comes back. But in any case, it's on purpose. So the preparedness for this bursting, which the universe is here to say, is going to take quite a bit of energy from you. This is kind of that bursting of energy, right? So then we move to your past here, a union. Okay, perfect. That doesn't get any better than that, right? Okay, so there could have been a past relationship here. And again, this could be the winding health symbol. So you focusing very much on creating that perfect yin and yang within yourself. Very well could be. And here's your mindset. And this is a child card, so you could be thinking of children, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. This reminds me very much of the crown chakra, right? So this was who you were before life happened, before you were kind of forced to go within and howl at the moon and get different perspectives, right? And move through something heavy. So the innocence of the childlike brain is on your mind. And up here we have the spirit messages. We have this beautiful 3 here. This is the 3 of air. This is about knowledge. This is about understanding. This is about research. Seeing 360 degrees, right? That perspective shift, those angel messages coming through, this light language that's being transcribed here. This is about taking information from the past. We have this transformative skull here, and writing it down in our notes and lighting the candles and squashing the herbs, all of these things that are happening in order to make the words glow. And you see things are coming up out of the book here, and there's just so much going on. And I think that that is very relative to what it is that you have been doing. You see the concentration is very much the same here. So you've been wondering how to make things grow, how to make the thoughts a reality, right? So that's very knowledge based. Then we have our forward movement. Where are we going in the future? Beautiful. Impeccability. You want to have that arrow fly and you want it to hit the mark and blow up. And I totally encourage. I so encourage it. This could be those of you who are getting out of a work situation and moving along for your own spiritual business or online business of some kind. Okay. So I do want to have this card out, so I'm going to put it there because it is just too perfect not to have there. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and pull the cards that are going to be for the momentum in your mindset. What is really driving that mindset, maybe towards children or towards that part of you that is innocent like a child? What is driving the momentum here? Okay. And I don't do role reversals, so you'll see me flip the cards. Okay, we have the world tree. This is a completion. This is coming full circle and coming back to the end. So this is actually the last of the major arcana in this deck. And we have all 4 seasons outlined on this tree. And then we have the labyrinth here. And then we have this door going through here. So in all tarot decks, you are on a journey and you are the wanderer. And then you come to all of these characters and you stop and listen to them. Now, the world tree is the end of that cycle. Being done, complete, over it. Okay? So this could be a process of letting go of something. But we'll see. We'll come back to it. Now what we're going to do is move forward with your future outcomes, where you're headed. What's the momentum here is ecstasy, enjoyment, enjoying the ride, being in lavish clothing, maybe, right? Having tools available, having this ritual of, celebration. This is about celebrating wins and having that between these 2 fire elements. I mean, there's no doubt here that after the work is done, there's a celebration. So there's this want here to have the work be completed and know that it was yours. And then have that sense of pride when things hit their mark. Very beautiful energy there. Absolutely gorgeous. I really love that. So no complaints there. And really this reading kind of took a really great turn from conflict and inner things going on to go for the gold. Okay. So what we have at the bottom of the deck for a clarifier here is instruction. This is the 10 of arrows. So it would be the 10 of swords. And this is another completion. So we have the circle here coming full circle, which is coming through for you very, very much so. So there's that, maybe some of you are gearing towards retirement or thinking about financial freedom, having passive income that you don't necessarily have to go out and earn and strive and do the legwork for, which again, totally understandable. I'm all for it. That's actually what I do. I'm a spiritual online business coach. So, check out the links below for inquiries. But yes, there's this matter of learning, okay, which is another representation here. So understanding that you still have a ways to go, that in some ways you are still a child with a bow learning how to shoot, and your want is to have impeccable aim. Okay, so the universe is here to remind you that there's still a little bit of a ways to go. But again, we come back here to patience, right? Which we can have here. And we'll get one more message here from your spirit guides, your spirit team, specifically animal messages. And this came through for you too. The Mother Earth card. This is balance, grounding, coming back to your roots, understanding why you're here, really developing your true purpose and your mission, a mission statement. You know that you're here to make a huge impact for the good of all things. So everything that is that you are doing, this completion, these goal setting, the understanding your past and how everything has moved forward for you, all goes forward towards this beautiful magic end, right? So then we have the crow, which is all about law of attraction, that is, laws of gravity, laws that are unwavering. So this comes back to your beliefs. What do you believe to be true? Can you create just by making your mark and hitting it? Or do you have to sit and stalk your prey and, plant the seeds and wait for them to grow and have the waiting process? Well, the universe is here to remind you that you are practicing. So allow yourself to continue practicing. Okay, so the bottom of the deck here, we have the self-reflection. So going back within yourself, let's go ahead and go back there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pull the card that is what is being repressed or kind of shoved down. And it says, make your dreams real. But she's blindfolded. We have a bird up here again. The bird up here is standing on her wrist and just kind of relaxing here with her. We have a bird here as well. So this is a very cloudy, very airy energy, but it doesn't feel very relaxed, right? So the suppression here is the belief that it actually does need to be hard. The belief that even without a cage, you can't actually fly away, right? So a little bit of a energy shifting there. So let's go ahead and put those together. Okay, now when we're talking about our forward action, what is needing to be expressed? What is it that we need to embody right now? Beautiful. The approach, advancing, the warm reception, prosperous conditions, increased influence, hopefulness, lightening up, and an arrival. Beautiful. Understanding that miracles are always headed your way. And the momentum of your expression is determined by how you dance along this path. Next one in line in the same deck here is turbulence, obstacles, unexpected obstruction, frustration, difficulties, feelings of hopelessness. You have to understand where these are coming from. You have to see them in your mindset and understand that that makes you farther back on your path, really. It puts you backwards. And it somehow, a little bit, takes away your training. The universe is here to say, like, don't you believe in what's happening? Don't you believe that it's all happening in your favor? Or are you running out of patience and in turn making things not so easy? Kind of a rough message there. But I totally understand it. I'm, like I said, a spiritual coach, so I see these things all the time. Okay, so the bottom of the deck here, we have alienation and a standstill, right? We went from prosperous conditions to sad conditions. You get to choose, right? We have kind of two pathways here. The universe is here to say, do you want to do this the hard way or the easy way? Do you want to understand that you are still a student on this physical plane, or are you going to try and do it all yourself? Okay, the bottom of the deck here with this one, We have the Divine Mirror. This one has actually been coming out a lot. I think this is something to do with kind of the Mercury retrograde and what that's bringing to attention. But we have this a couple of times. Self-reflection and becoming a loving mirror. Being proud of what other people see as they look at you. That is something that is a very difficult thing to truly embody and understand, right? So, yes. Give me just a moment here. We're going to go ahead and grab another clarifier. I have more decks than I have positions for our reading, so this one will just be whatever happens to come out. It is going to be at the top of the deck as a clarifier here. So we have the Field of Dreams. This is about where you're headed and where you're going. And another 21. We have several different cards with 21 on it. I also have a 19. Oh, yes. 21 has the completion here. Okay, so the Field of Dreams. This is like the field of plenty and the cornucopia overflowing. This is that happiness and exploration of how wonderful life is. How beautiful is this beautiful experience that we get to have, right? So the Field of Dreams, hatching out of the egg, which we saw earlier. I shuffled it back in, of course, but I need to get in the habit of pulling those top of the cards out. So yeah, there are so many opportunities here to hatch out of the egg and to enjoy this restful period before you take off and fly. All of these fairies here are laying down and relaxing and giving themselves that time to come out of it and to re-understand this flying away aspect, right? So there's a lot going on, but I think that for the most part, we're transforming from being in a place of indecision and inner conflict. What do we do? How do we do it? To understanding this as an opportunity to bust down the walls, to take down the structure of how it has to be, or it only works this way, so and so did it this way, and expresses themselves from being at this position. But it's not that way for everybody. We don't have to fall into the exact same box that everybody else is in, and it doesn't have to apply to us. The rules don't have to apply. So again, breaking out of this gateway, this border, right? I mean, this is just absolute perfection here. Okay, the unicorn and the animal spirits here are all busting free. They are tearing down the archways. See the cracks in all of the archways. This one is trees, but the unicorn is here as like a happy puppy, right? To say, now it's time. Now jump on my back. Let's go run amok. So you're able to choose that the struggle does not apply, that your freedom-based opportunities are moving forward with momentum, whether other people like it or not. And on the bottom of the deck here, we have Patience coming through again. Different animal, but that's okay. We have this preparedness period, right? Where we have to plant the seeds and then sit and wait. And it can be frustrating. There's no doubt about that. But the belief has to be strong, and the knowledge of where you've been and where you're going has to be unwavering. The core value of what it is you're creating and the thoughts that you're thinking have to be geared towards where you're headed, which is to soar without problems, right? So we see the same bird several times here. Patience and self-reflection going hand in hand, being patient with yourself, releasing what no longer serves you to move forward without fear, without doubts, and without this inner conflict and turbulence. So we'll grab a clarifier from the magical times, and then I'm going to rearrange the cards. Okay. Union. You have seen and unseen allies. Draw upon their strength. Join forces with friends and flourish. Very good, very good. Okay, so I love that because here we have these repeat messages, 3 different decks, you all, same message. So this is very important for you. Understand that you are a co-creator with this universe and that you can, look at all the dragons, all of them are dragons. And that could be my choice in tarot card deck. But the preparedness that you have been going through, you've already been going through it, comes to a completion now because the yin and yang has been completed. There's contrast, there's darkness here, and there's light, and there's freedom here. You understand that contrast. You understand there's dark and there's light, and when you put them together, you're able to move yourself, right? You don't need an inspirational quote to do it for you. You can inspire yourself. So all of this union comes together and your dreams become a reality because you get to do so. You get to have and be and experience everything that you have set sights on for yourself. So now what we're going to do is pull all of the cards in a line and tell a story here. So this will just take me a moment while I'm moving the cards around. I'd love for you to take a moment to go to the description box and just check out some of the things that I have to offer. I am, like I mentioned before, a spiritual online business coach. So if the entrepreneurship journey and the CEO journey calls to you, I'd love to hear from you. I do the consultation calls to just kind of see where you are, what you're headed towards, what your goals are, and then brainstorm with you to see how we could probably make that a beautiful expression of yourself together. So that is in the description, as well as the decks that I use and how to book a reading as well. So I'm just going to shuffle these up a little bit because I tend to thumb through them anyways to make sure that the story begins and ends with what I want to express here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move the decks out of the way. So you're still learning. You're learning how to pull the bow back and balance yourself and do the self-reflection work and put together the processes that are going to be fruitful for you, right? You are learning all of the many things that it's going to take in order to propel in this world. You go from the child, of course I have to find that. You go from the child to the adolescent to the student. And you have learned so much already. You've already legitimately come full circle and looked within yourself to see how things move and to see what your mindset does in certain situations. So there's this element here of self-mastery because of the knowledge that you've already learned. And you understand enough about your self-reflection and your ability to balance here, to find this beautiful contrast within yourself of the yin and yang and how things work together. But when it comes time to create and utilize that beautiful balance and energy, something happens. We get caught in the turbulence and we begin to conflict with ourselves. So, the universe reminds us, get grounded. Celebrate the little things. Add patience to your daily regimen. And remember that your thoughts really and truly do create your reality. And that you have a choice every single day to bust out of the gateway and out of the cage and propel yourself in a life of freedom. So, Pisces, happy birthday to you. I hope that this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. I have absolutely loved the turn of events with this reading. Again, if you would like to book your own, they last about an hour and they're a recording just like this, but it is for you specifically and it goes straight to your email address. So all the details for that, as well as the online coaching for when you're ready for this busting, this bursting outward, when you're ready to have that life of freedom, become your own CEO, I would love to help you. So all of those links are in the comments, or I'm sorry, the description. Let me know in the comments if this reading resonated with you, and I will see you all next month. I'll see you.